So, these are notes for lesson 7-4, part 1, sum and difference formulas. We have ventured past our basic identities, the reciprocals, Pythagoreans, even odds, and quotients, and have now moved on to the sum and difference identities. So we're using roughly half of our page now. So let's turn to page 473. Do make sure you have your reference sheets out. Again, I don't have any extras of them. There is a copy of what we're using right now on page 473, if that helps you. There are quite a few examples in the book, some of which you may find useful. And we shall start with problem number 22. Sine 20 degrees, cosine 80 degrees, minus cosine 20 degrees, sine 80 degrees. So you're going to go to your reference sheet and you are going to look for one of the sum and difference identities that goes sine, cosine, minus cosine, sine. And you should recognize that as the sine of a minus b. So the sine of a minus b equals the sine of a cosine of b minus the cosine of a sine of b. That's the formula that we're using. Therefore, in the math problem that we are doing, we're actually finding the sine of negative 60 degrees because A is 20 degrees and B is 80 degrees. So you go to your handy dandy reference sheet and you find the sine of negative 60 degrees. Which is negative root 3 over 2. Try again. Let's do number 24. So cosine 40 degrees, cosine 10 degrees, plus sine 40 degrees, sine 10 degrees. So again, you're looking on your reference sheet for cosine, cosine plus sine, sine. You should notice that that is actually the cosine of A minus B, where A in this case is going to be 40 and B is going to be 10. So we are looking for the cosine of 30. And the cosine of 30 degrees is root 3 over 2. So, 26. Tangent 40 degrees minus tangent 10 degrees over 1 plus tangent 40 degrees tangent 10 degrees. So you find a tangent rule, because only the tangent rules have tangents. The one where the minus sign's on the plus and the plus sign's on the bottom. So this is going to be tangent A minus B So we're finding the tangent of 30 degrees because A is 40 and B is 10. And the tangent of 30 is 1 over root 3, which we don't like, and it becomes root 3 over 3. So, 28. Cosine 5 pi over 12. Cosine 7 pi over 12. Minus sine 5 pi over 12. Sine 7 pi over 12. Okay, find the right rule. Decide what A and B are. Use the rule. Get an answer. So hopefully you notice that this is cosine of A plus B, because it's cosine, cosine minus sine, sine, where A is 5/12 and B is 7/12, which means that we are looking for the cosine of 12/12, or otherwise known as pi. And the cosine of pi is -1. So, try number 30. If you need to pause the video, but come back to it soon, please. So number 30 is a sine, cosine, cosine, sine problem, plus sign in the middle, which means that this is going to be the sine of A plus B. 1 pi over 18 plus 5 pi over 18 is 6 pi over 18, which is the same thing as pi over 3. So you go to unit circle, which you're supposed to have memorized. You find pi over 3 and take the y value, and you get, once again, root 3 over 2. All right, let's go on to problem 32. We will do A through D for problem 32, and then probably problem 40-something, 40 or 42, and then that should be good enough. So number 32, the cosine of A is root 5 over 5. The sine of B is -4/5. The cosine is in the first quadrant. And the sine angle, angle B, is in the fourth quadrant. So, in order to find the sine of A plus B, we need to know the sine and the cosine of both A and B. We're going to make triangles. We like triangles. So in quadrant 1, this is going to be angle A. Cosine is x over r. You need to find y. So you're going to do the Pythagorean theorem. That makes that the square root of 20. That's not very nice. Let's make sure I'm not wrong. So 25 equals 5 plus b squared. No, I'm not wrong. B squared equals 20. 4 and 5. So this is 2 root 5. Then you need to draw angle B in the fourth quadrant. -4 is going down. 5 is the radius. 3, 4, 5. So this should be a 3. And this is angle B. So letter A says, use that information to find the sine of A plus B. So the rule says the sine of A plus B is the sine of A, 2 root 5 over 5, times the cosine of B. Cosine is x, so 3/5, plus the cosine of A, root 5 over 5, times the sine of B, -4/5. And now it's just a matter of doing math with fractions. So we have 6 root 5 minus 4 root 5. Our answer is 2 root 5 over 25. Letter B. Letter B is cosine of A plus B. So we're using the same two triangles, but we're using the cosine of A plus B rule. So we need the cosine of A, which is root 5 over 5, times the cosine of B, (3/5), minus the sine of A, 2 root 5 over 5, times the sine of B, -4/5. So again, math with fractions. 3 root 5 plus 8 root 5 gives us an answer of 11 root 5 over 25. Part C. Oh, part C is just a sign again. Let's do part D instead. Tangent of A minus B. So we get to use the tangent of A minus B rule. Find the tangent of A. So that would be y over x, 2 root 5 over 5, 2, minus the tangent of B, y over x, -4/3, over 1 plus the tangent of A times the tangent of B. So we have, if I make everything into thirds, life will be better. So let's do 6/3 plus 4/3 over 3/3 minus 8/3 gives us 10 over -5, which is -2. If you must use a calculator, you may, but hopefully by this point in time, you don't. Okay, so hopefully you can use the formulas correctly. Let's go on to number 40. So for number 40, it's asking for g of a plus b, and it tells us in the directions that g is cosine. So you're going to go to your sheet and find the rule for cosine of a plus b. Notice that a is the first circle and b is the second circle. It might be easier if we redraw these on our paper because they don't give you all the information that you need. So for angle A, you are in the first quadrant. They tell you that y is 1 and that x squared plus y squared is 4, which means that the radius is 2, and that x is going to be the square root of 3. And then for your second triangle, triangle B, you know that x is 1/3 and that the radius is 1, which means that that's not nice. One-third squared plus y squared equals 1. Y squared equals 8/9. So this is 2 root 2 over 3 negative. So now let's find the cosine of a plus b. And the rule for cosine of a plus b, once again, is cosine a cosine b minus the sine of a times the sine of b. Which gives us root 3 over 6 plus root 2, 2 root 2 over 6. Can't really be simplified. So root 3 plus 2 root 2 over 6. Hopefully that's enough examples to take care of everything you need to know. Your homework is on page 473, 21, 25, 29, 35, and 41.